And that, folks, was the craziness of yesterday's announcement. And I gotta admit, I'm pretty convinced. Hey guys, it's John B here with PhoneArena, and this is my first quick hands-on look at the OnePlus 5T. Okay, so let me talk about the most pressing thing about the OnePlus 5T, and that's its price. At $500, it's mind-boggling, and it really undercuts the competition because you look at what's out there and phones easily cost close to the $1,000 range, but the OnePlus 5T does the opposite. You still have some great specs, but at a fraction of the cost. And you know what? They don't skip out on the specs either. It's on par to other flagships that have been recently announced. You have a fingerprint sensor in the back. You have a dual camera setup. You also have the same processor, the Snapdragon 835 chip. And this one comes with 6 GB of RAM with the 64 GB version. And there's even another model with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. The only thing it lacks is just the micro SD card slot, so there is no expansion in that regard. And for the price too, you're getting a premium looking design. Yes, they pretty much recycled the same design as the OnePlus 5. There's some subtle changes, but for the most part, you still have an all metal construction. It's an anodized aluminum. It looks great. It feels strong, durable, a lot more durable than the glass meets metal construction that we see in other phones. It's worth pointing out too that they kept the headphone jack, which is always a great thing, but unlike some of the other phones with the metal meets glass construction, this phone does not have wireless charging, nor does it have a water-resistant construction. So those are two trade-offs you're gonna have to think about. And then there's the display. It does follow the trend of having those near bezel-less screens. So what we have here is a 6-inch 1080 by 2160 full optic AMOLED display. It's protected by 2.5D Corning Gorilla Glass 5. For me though, I wish they bumped up the resolution just a little bit more just to match some of the other Quad HD giants out there, but I get it. For the price, I'm still happy with the resolution here. So the OnePlus 5T is running the latest version of the Oxygen OS. It's running on top of Android 7.1.1 Nougat. Yes, I wish it was Oreo, but hey, it'll eventually get updated, so no big deal there. It's not a heavy skin, which is always great, but the added features that they do have really enhance the overall experience. Take, for example, this new Parallel Apps, which basically clones an app, so you could have two different accounts running at the same time. And one new feature with the OnePlus 5T is Face Unlock. Now, as the name implies, you're able to unlock the phone with your face. This is the same implementation we see in other Android phones. They really didn't talk about the technology behind it, but in my quick look at it at the event, it worked pretty good, especially in the dark, which I was surprised about. And the last thing we'll talk about here is the camera, specifically the dual camera setup it has. Now, OnePlus isn't a stranger with dual cameras. They've offered it for quite some time. And now here at the OnePlus 5T, hopefully they refined it enough to really stand out from the pack. What we have here now with the OnePlus 5T are dual 20 megapixel cameras. Previously, you had a wide-angle main camera, but this time they both feature the same 27mm field of view. And when you combine that, it now has a wider aperture of f1.7, and they leverage this new pixel technology. They say that the phone will offer better low-light performance, which is always great. Obviously, the main intent of having this dual camera setup is to provide those creamy looking portrait shots where you have the subject in focus and then the background's blurred out with bokeh. And for the most part, it looks like it gets the job done. I did snap a few photos. It's really tough to tell its performance right now, but I'm really hopeful that the low light performance is gonna be significantly improved. That's pretty much it about the OnePlus 5T. I'm kind of eager to check it out because it's just amazing that they have a phone of this caliber at a fraction of the cost of its competitors. When you look at the landscape, like the Note 8, the Galaxy S8, the iPhone X, the LG V30, the Pixel 2 XL, those phones easily cost close to $1,000, if not more. But here at the OnePlus 5T, it's what I like to call the anti-flagship. Yes, it has some flagship qualities about it, but not at the flagship cost. It's at $500, and there's no denying it's gonna make a lot of noise. So if you guys wanna learn more about the OnePlus 5T, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John B, signing off.